back and forward, and I'm sick of it!
Avert your gaze or you'll go crystal crazy! Felt like I married my mother.
Meka.
Yeah, the Crash series has some unhinged moments. Crash Bandicoot is typically a wacky, Looney Tunes style platformer that is no stranger to comedy. Whether it be gags, a play on words, and whatever this is. So today, I wanted to go over some of the most unhinged moments in Crash Bandicoot's history. Now, let me preface that Crash Bandicoot's wackiness in the original trilogy is relatively tame. There's really only 3 things that happened in the original 3 games that can be noted as even being remotely unhinged. The first is the initial design of Crash's girlfriend being pretty close to Jessica Rabbit, one of the level names being called Piston Away, and this segment when you beat Cortex in Crash Bandicoot Warped.
This is not fair. Maybe I should retire to a nice big beach with a nice big drink and a woman with nice big bags of ice for my head.
Suffice to say, especially compared to today's media, these references are relatively tame. However, while the original Crash trilogy was relatively okay, the commercials for it were the definition of unhinged.
I mean, when you got that kind of power between your legs, you don't know what to expect. Anything could happen.
I'm gonna give you a personal demonstration. Get off my lawn, you freak! Cover that!
Would you like to work here?
I'm not housebroken.
Hey, what's for dinner around here? Share with your roommate, right? I need pepper.
Nice hanging out with you guys. You look great, Grandma. I'll call you later.
While the Crash mascot suit was eventually retired from commercials, it was actually brought back for the modern day commercials, especially with the remake. Most are funny, but pretty tame. Until we get to a gender reveal party. Yeah, this one is, yeah.
10, 9. Just in time. Sorry, I'm a little late. Invitation got lost in the mail.
Did you invite him?
I didn't invite him. Anyway, ooh, diaper chocolate. My fave. Ooh, kitty cat. That's good. What's it gonna be? Launch in 3, 2, 1.
It's about time. Crash is back with an all-new game, new worlds, new powers, new insanity.
Did you hear that, Todd? We're having a Bandicoot.
Yeah, he's putting it together, folks. I should go.
What's hilarious to me is that Crash Bandicoot's ads were significantly more chaotic than what was reflected in his games. In-game, he's just a silly little wacky science experiment, but in his commercials, he's literally committing felonies.
Is that blood?
But that started to change significantly in Crash Twinsanity. This game is when, well, things started to turn up a bit in terms of being unhinged. Essentially, Crash and Cortex have to team up to defeat the evil twins, twin parrots from a different dimension that were sent there by Cortex himself when he was a child. This game is when Cortex absolutely shines.
There's something weird going on in the bay! Come see!
Rid my land of these pests. I'll give you this power crystal.
I'm an evil scientist. What do you expect? The check bounced. Are you sure? Well, the past few years have kind of been slow. Wrath of Cortex didn't do as well as we'd hoped, and... Fish?
While Cortex is definitely the star of the show in Twinsanity, Crash also has his insane moments.
There! To the sea, I tell you! Our salvation floats upon the briny blue! We must reach Engine's battleship, and quickly before it sets sail! But how? Think, Cortex, think!
And this doesn't just happen once. This happens twice. Meanwhile, while Crash is, using Cortex as a snowboard, this also happens.
Coming through! Ladies? Excuse me, madam. Are those real? Mother?
Twinsanity is truly the turning point of when the Crash games themselves went from being tongue-in-cheek to becoming quite unhinged. What's interesting though is that the following mainline game, Crash the Titans, was actually relatively tame. Everything was pretty lighthearted and almost reminiscent of the first games, right up until the end.
Why did you rescue me? I betrayed you, took over your evil plan, and then failed.
Oh, Nina! Betraying me is the most vile, evil thing you could have ever done! You were a skank!
Now, technically speaking, if you look at the true definition of this word, Cortex is right, but man, did that come out of left field. But this is simply a segue to the game's sequel, Crash Mind Over Mutant. This is when things really go off the rails. From masochist-like minions, absolutely left field lines, and straight up questionable content that somehow fits the ESRB rating of E. Like, and I wish I was kidding, Uka Uka being force-fed cake and milked at the same time.
How's our little mojo battery doing? Cortex, you miserable traitor! I will have my revenge! Fabulous. He's never looked better. Rubenesque even. I was so tired of that guy. Felt like I married my mother. Not that I've thought about that.
Stealing my mojo to power your envies. That's low even for you. But why do you keep feeding me cake?
Oh, that. I just thought it would be mean. Seriously, you're never going to be able to eat cake again. Imagine that. Life without cake.
You fiend! I'll get my revenge for this, Cortex!
Yes, revenge. I'm not the one in the milking machine. Milky Magoo. Cortex out.
This would be the last mainline game from Crash for a while. Then the Insane Trilogy came out, which of course followed the same tongue-in-cheek nature of the original games. But then Toys for Bob took the mantle of developing a new Crash title, Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. And Toys for Bob, while not going as unhinged as Crash Mind Over Mutant, definitely had moments that were completely unhinged, like Brio birthing an egg, referencing swear words, and even Entropy falling in love with an alternate version of himself.
You manage our affairs with such poise.
Naturally, as do you.
Those meddling marsupials.
Wiped from existence by that pompous peacock? I'd like to see him try after I shove that tuning fork up his...
But not if we get to him first.
Taste my reptilian wrath.
Meka.
No.
You know, Crash still has this egg even at the end of the game. Let's not ask what it hatches into. Now, everything that we have seen has been pretty unhinged, but almost nothing can compare with the most unhinged Crash Bandicoot game of all time. Crash Tag Team Racing. Where do I even begin on this one? This game takes the Crash franchise's tongue-in-cheekiness, throws it out, and replaces it with the most unhinged, borderline psychopathic behavior. The premise of this game is that Von Clutch's Motor World, a kart racing theme park that's questionably legal and just a lawsuit waiting to happen, is about to shut down because of Von Clutch's black power gem that powers his body being missing, along with all the other power gems powering the rest of the park. Crash, Cortex, and their merry band of misfits show up and decide to just help out of mutual fun, I guess. The plot and even gameplay isn't even that bad. It's fairly tame, but it's everything around it that's unhinged. From the mascot making a drink called Wumpa Whip that's made from him and out of his nose, the characters' banter during races, and even the antics of the commentators' chick and stew.
Indeed, the park's tracks have wreaked terror on its participants. Too gruesome for this reporter to describe over the air.
Well, I ain't got a problem with it. Man, you ever put a big ham in a wood chipper? I know I have.
Mess with Mama, you're gonna get slapped.
Your mother is the speed limit now.
Don't worry, that was a mercy killing.
But that's not all. There are these park workers that will send you on these quests for miscellaneous items, and they all have unique dialogue that range from dark to hysterical, and yes, hysterically dark.
Sir, excuse me. Sir, I think I have something you want, sir, please, sir. Do you have coins for a starving postgraduate student, sir? Anything, sir, coins or even some macaroni. I'll gladly give you this Wampa Whip covered power crystal I found.
What are you doing to me, man? My wife will take my kids. She'll marry my brother. I can't go through that again!
Will, I kind of owe a lot of money to some people right now, so I really need to sell this crystal. They're gonna take my thumbs! Please, buy this from me, please!
There's even mention and suggestion that these park workers are borderline slaves and can't even make enough money to leave the park.
Buddy, I am so happy to unload this thing and get out of here. I swear, it's like 200 degrees in this suit, huh? When my shift is up, I'm on the first bus out of this death trap. You have fun here, though.
Oh, sweet currency. Von Klutz pays us nothing, that dirty rat. This is how I pay my rent, see?
Oh, currency. Delicious currency. Now at last, I can eat. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Here's your power crystal. Take that, student loan. Tuh. I spit in my mask.
But the most unhinged part, by far, is this game's dioramas. This game contains little Easter eggs and mini interactions that plays cutscenes, showing Crash Bandicoot being horrendously murdered and or harmed in a multitude of ways. Many are wacky or Looney Toony, but there are some that are just questionable at best, like Crash being swallowed whole by a Yeti 3 different times. Not only are these dioramas depicting Crash being, well, essentially killed, but also Crash causing harm to others and killing them. Yeah, so Crash is now apparently a wanted criminal for the murder of many innocent bystanders for no reason other than to have a laugh. But by far, the worst diorama is the one involving the cow. I'll just yeah. When I first saw this, I just had no idea where it was going. This clip is now burned into my mind for the rest of my life. Lastly, and while it's not the most unhinged, like I mentioned before, Willy Wonka Cheeks was the mascot of Von Clutch's Motor World and made a drink that came from himself, and it came out of his nose. But we also find out that he is the secret villain behind the whole plot as to why all the power gems are missing in the first place. But after he is defeated, do you think he makes an escape, yelling at the Bandicoots for meddling in his business and swearing revenge like any other classical cartoony villain? Nope, that doesn't happen.
Alrighty, you sour fruit! Hand over that black power gem!
Hey! Who you call it sour?
Bro is literally just evaporated into goo. And then, not even a few minutes later, Crash is seen sucking on the nose of the now deceased park mascot. Yeah, that's an image I didn't need to see. Speaking of mascots, Crash Bandicoot has always been seen as PlayStation's main mascot, but PlayStation has had numerous mascots over the years. If you want to see all the different mascots PlayStation has used and the history of each one, check out this video right here.